Hey, welcome back to Lick of the Week videos. Last week we were looking at the basic function of detuners, and we explored how to set the stop mechanisms to allow you to swing from standard pitch on the third and second strings down to detuning. I'm going to do the same thing for this video, but we're going to use these tuners in a different way to play a melody that's really commonly heard in bluegrass banjo. I'm going to set my tuners again so that my B string swings down to an A, which I've already have it set for, and my third string is going to be set so that it swings from G down to F sharp. The only string I need to change now to accommodate detuning is the fifth string. So I've already capoed my fifth string under the seventh spike, or you could leave the fifth string open and tune it down to F sharp. I'll leave that up to you. But now what we have is detuning on the banjo, and we're actually going to play a melody or a portion of the melody out of detuning and use the tuners to not only accommodate the chord change in the progression of the song, but also to mimic part of the melody, which is really neat. And Alan Shelton's one of the first guys I heard do this, and this was on an old recording back from the late 50s. So Earl's method of playing Home Sweet Home, of course, was to play out of a C position, tune the fourth string down, and use the chord positions for that chord progression. So we're going to play it in the key of D, and we're going to use the D tuners to play a portion of the melody. So let me go ahead and play it for you so you'll understand what we're talking about. So you notice what we're using the tuners for now is they're still set to swing from G down to D, but instead of going from G down, we already have the banjo tuned in D. So they still swing the same direction, but instead of going from G down to D and then back, we're playing in the key of D and using the tuners to go up to G. So what you're going to do is just basically swing the tuner, the third string tuner up when the melody goes to the chord change for G, and swing the second string back up and then bring them back down to D. And this would be the melody line. Be it ever so humble, there's no, and then you would use a chord, to play that section. And you can actually get a little more creative with that, and you can do some extra swings that sounds kind of nice, but I'm not going to get into that. We'll just do a basic version. So what you're doing is using the melody of the song as a template so that you can use the tuners to mimic what the vocal's doing or what the basic melody's doing, which is the same thing. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. So it's a really neat way to play Home Sweet Home and take advantage of the cool swinging sound. So there, you don't have to change the settings for the stop mechanisms. You set them just like you would for Earl's Breakdown and Foggy Mountain Chimes, but instead of going from G down to D and then back to G, the chord center of this song is obviously D because we're in the key of D. So there's another cool way to use D tuners in the key of D. So let's go ahead and swing back to G, uncapo the fifth, and let's explore another way to set these tuners. What we're going to do now is unset the B string tuner just for a second, because we're going to explore an opposite way to tune this string for the song Randy Lynn Rag. So typically, the first two examples for detuners, we've always set them for detuning. What we're going to do now is set the lower stop at B. which sounds kind of odd. That means that your second string cannot go lower than standard pitch, which is B for that tuner. So I can go up, but I can't go any lower than a B. Again, you might have to tweak this. So I can go up, but I can't go any lower than a B. So we're using these stop mechanisms in the opposite way that you normally would for the B string, that is. So now I have my lower stop set for B, and now I'm going to go up a half step to a C note, and I'm going to set my upper swing for C. So now my tuner can actually leave B and go up a half step, and then back to standard pitch. What about the G tuner? Well, the G tuner will do the same thing that it's done for the previous two examples. So we need to set it so that it'll swing from a G down to an F sharp. So I'm going to set the upper mechanism and the lower for F sharp. So for the song Randy Lynn Rag, what you're going to do is actually tune the B string up a half step, and then tune the G string down like you normally would, which is kind of mind-boggling at first, because you train yourself to use these D tuners so that they both swing down and then they both swing up. So the weird thing about Randy Lynn Rag, for most players when it comes to the D tuner section, is they actually have to swing the B string the opposite way. It has to go up to a C, and this one stays the same as it normally does. It swings from G down to F sharp. And again, you know, there's going to be some fine tuning. Make sure you have some graphite in the slots, and you may have to finagle, especially when you go up. It's a good idea to set the up stop first, but whatever works for you. So there's the swing stops for Randy Lynn Rag. Now, the only advice I can give you is just to experiment with the motion before you play the song, is to experiment with just tuning the knobs after they've been set. And you notice I'm playing the first string and then the third string and the fourth string, because that mimics that little section of the melody. So when I just isolate the tuners themselves, I still like to connect it to part of the melody of the song. So I like to include a couple of open strings to help solidify in my mind where I'm at. There is a tuning for Randy Lynn Rag, and again it's swinging the B string up to a C, and then the G string swings from G down to F sharp. So the only difference is you're actually dividing the tuners into two totally different parameters, one going up, one going down, which is works on your head a little bit at first. And I noticed a little creaking in my banjo. You may have caught it in the audio there. That's a sign that I definitely need a little graphite in the slot. So if you hear some creaking going on in the nut as you tune, or the tuners seem like they have a hard time being set, then that's a good indication. You need to work on these notches. So that's the two more settings for D tuners. Tuning your banjo down for Home Sweet Home, and then using the tuners to mimic the melody going up, and then retuning the B string to swing up to C for Randy Lynn Rag. I appreciate you watching, and hope you have a good week. See you next time.